Alright, this is a Blairing Out with Eric Blair show at Fingerprints Music in Long Beach, California, with legendary punk rock icons Cheetah Chrome and Johnny Blitz of the Dead Boys. After the Dead Boys disbanded, how long did it take you guys to get back on your feet, mentally and emotionally?
Oh, I'm still not. You know?
Yeah, it took me years. I remember when it happened. The thing with me, it was like having a family break up, right?
Yeah.
Like a divorce, right? So it was not.
Yeah.
It was just. I was devastated for years, man, because I hung out with these guys and lived with them like we were brothers, and all of a sudden we can't hang out anymore. It destroyed me for a long time. Oh yeah. It's any band. I think any band is like that. Yeah, any kind of group of people. When it's over, it's like for me it was devastating. It took me a long time to get over it, man. I don't like Cheetah said. I don't even know if I'm still over that. The initial fucking lineup, man. It was great.
There's a really good chemistry, and one of the things I'm happy about is, and one of the things I've waited, because I've been playing my solo stuff for a long time and doing a lot of Dead Boys things, and I was doing that basically, trying to keep the thing alive, Getting Blitz back in the fold really kicked it up a notch, but the guys we're working with now.
Great guys.
I mean, we have kind of very similar chemistry to the original band. And, so that kind of made me think it was the right time to make it,
Yeah,
And
it's time to move on.
Yeah, I don't feel bad moving on or any guilt or anything. I mean, the time's come and we're with the right guys.
Punk is bigger than ever.
It's a shame that album didn't come out now.
Yeah.
I mean, because talking about Suppression, man, that album was so just not treated right.
Oh,
it wasn't. Even in our hometown of Cleveland, they refused to play it.
The radio support was nil for it. Now it would be great. It would get a lot of play. It does get a lot of play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so that's the thing. It's just it's different. We don't have a push behind us. We don't have, which we have now. We got some good things going on management-wise, and it's going to be more of a little machine working with us.
Is it true that Bob Clearmountain actually played bass on that album?
Yeah.
Very true.
Yep.
Bob Clearmountain's a great man.
Yes.
I love that guy.
I was very proud to see him go on and have the career that he had after that.
Cheetah, what were the highlights of playing with, let's start off with the Stilettos, and is that the same Stilettos that backed Debbie Harry?
Yeah. One of the highlights was playing the band show in Central Park for the Rock Against Racism concert. Mm-hmm. That was really cool.
Tish and Snooki, right?
Yeah, they were the backup singers, and the eldest Stiletto was that. I was actually a member of the band. I started out, we would kind of be a jam thing. I'd play some songs with them and they'd play some of my songs. But it ended up turning into like a band, it was getting a lot of attention, and, it was good.
And then you started your own band, Cheetah Chrome and the Casualties. How was that for you?
It was good because it gave me a chance. I actually had a lot of material ready for the third Dead Boys album. And so it gave me a chance to work on that. I wish it would have been done with the Dead Boys, obviously, but a lot of those songs started with me playing with the guys in the Stilettos in the basement and stuff.
Ronnie Spector, you played on her first debut solo album.
That was great. That was a really cool experience. I did the Ramones song, and I did Darla in the single. Me and her just got along really good, and I did the basic tracks, and then she was in the studio when I was doing my leads and stuff. It was cool because she kind of helped produce and, just kind of told me. She inspired me, and I was really honored to be playing on that, and it was just as cool as, you would want it to be.
And then lastly, Nico. Both of you guys were huge Lou Reed fans.
Oh, yeah, that was really cool. And, I just met her on St. Mark's, and we were talking, and she had said she was looking for some American musicians to play with, and I said, well, if you're still looking for, you need a guitar player, let me know. And she goes, well, show me. So we go to this friend of hers place, like 2 rows down on St. Mark's. Go up to his apartment, he's got a guitar. And we sat down and played like Altamore's Parties and Femme Fatale, you know, and I got the gig, you know, and a lot of it was just me and her, you know, where we would do these gigs and we'd do like The End or, you know, Janitor or Lunacy or something like that, and she would play it and I would do like sound effects guitar and totally different than what I do with the Dead Boys, you know, and the Velvet stuff, and it was cool. I mean, we had a few problems because she was really a hardcore, heroin addict, yes, and so there were times we would play when we, you know, go to get paid, and she had spent the money, she had gotten it all advanced to her and shot it out, and things like that. But then, you know, there was also one time when she was sitting, we were on stage, and she's sitting there playing that harmonium thing, and she just all of a sudden just stops playing. It, like, you know, and everybody looks at her, she's totally nodded off. And, and so I'm going like, you know, Nico, psst, psst, psst. Fine. And she looks up and she goes, "Is this second set?" Yeah, and I mean, you know, so I mean that kind of made me, you know, that kind of made up for her shooting up the money, you know. You know.
You were the voice of sanity.
I know. That's a sad situation. But Cheetah Chrome is the voice of reason. You know, that's just not good. You know, that's all. That's kind of puts the earth off its axis a little bit. You know.
Well, she was surrounded by a lot of luminaries. Were you surrounded by those people?
No, she kind of, she kind of driven them away, or, you know, alienated a lot of them. You know, there's a few that float in and out, but, you know, not really ones that I knew. Nobody big, and she was way more into dope, you know, and so as was I. So we were more running buddies, shooting up buddies than anything, and we didn't have anybody around us really. You know, we had the isolation that all junkies have, you know.
Was she pretty compassionate to you?
She didn't give a shit about anybody.
When you watch her documentary, that's kind of the persona that's portrayed, but sometimes people crack a little bit and they have a little bit of a heart.
Oh yeah, I mean, she wasn't, you know, but no, she was, you know, like an ice queen, you know. But she wasn't mean about it, you know. You could tell she would just like kind of drift off, and you knew she didn't give a shit. She didn't like actually say it to your face, but she, you know, it was implied for sure, you know.
Johnny, after the demise of the Dead Boys, you're in Canada essentially, correct?
That's right, sir. Yes.
Tell me about the highlights of your period in Canada and some of the music you did there.
My highlights were my 3 kids, right? I met a girl and I got married and I had 3 kids, and it's pretty much what I did. I didn't want anything to do with music after the Dead Boys thing. I love Canada, man. That's where my kids were born. They're still up there, and everything's great.
Are your kids, do they lean to doing music?
Yes, they're all musicians, all of them, yeah. They're into that Canadian heavy metal bullshit, right? So they dig that.
Are they signed?
No, they just do it because they love playing, right? But as far as anything seriously goes, that'll never happen. As long as I'm around.
Would you like to see him in college?
Yeah, I prefer that, yeah.
And what kind of satisfaction did the Rocket from the Tombs 2002 reunion and record, The Day the Earth Met, the Rocket from the Tombs hold for you and your ongoing work with them?
It started off being like a really, really unpleasant experience because me and Dave Thomas were not getting along. I love playing with that band, you know.
Craig Bell's fucking great.
Yeah, I mean, great musicians. And, you know, Johnny wasn't on that reunion, and we had this guy, Steve Millman. He took some getting used to, but he's, you know, a great guy and good musician. And, you know, we ended up, you know, being friends, but, you know, he was kind of on Dave's side at first. And, you know, me and Dave were going through like a primal scream therapy together at each other, you know. We had Richard Lloyd, the band, would change the dynamic a bit. But the shows were really exciting, and we all agreed, you know, we hate each other, but the music's worth it, you know. And it finally warmed up and changed, and now we're all friends, and we get to be friends and play music together. But back then, no, it was rough.
What was the mood in the studio during that period?
When we did Rocket Redux, it was just basically all the songs off of Day of the Earthman, except studio versions, It was tense, because we were at Richard Lloyd's studio for a week, which is like in the music business in New York, which is like this industrial building,
What was that?
48th and right across from Port Authority bus station. Yeah. And like 48th and 8th, and it was, there was a lot of, we were all crammed in this one little room, and we were more of, united as a unit musically then, but as soon as we stopped playing or something, it was all still separate, things, and me and Dave would snipe at each other, and seriously, that's what it was. So it was tense, and the product was worth it. It really sounds good. It was exactly what we were going for. So if that's what it took to get it, I guess a little tension's okay.
About Bob Stinson and what it was like working with him.
We didn't work all that much together. We rehearsed for a tour with Sonny Vincent, and that was great. But it was like mostly jamming, and me and him hit it off on guitars. And I liked him. He's a really nice guy. The one gig we did together was cool, but we didn't get, the Canadian trip. He didn't get to go, and that's what I was looking forward to, because it was, to me, we were just getting started, and if I would have known he wasn't going to be able to do Canada, I would have jammed more. He would have maybe tried to make a Joe earlier,
He was a warm, cuddly guy.
Warm, cuddly guy.
Okay. What do you miss the most about Stiv Bators?
Plotting, mayhem, and mischief.
No doubt. The biggest joker in the world, and just a truly, truly nice guy. We all miss him, man.
What in your eyes made him one of the best vocalists and frontmen out of all the punk rock singers that have come and gone?
Well, to me, like I said before, he it wasn't like there was a separation between singer and the band. He was like a guy that did play an instrument. He brought, mayhem to the table. And work when he was a total pro at it, He was a journeyman mayhem guy.
How would you frame the songwriting chemistry that you guys had?
Great. Like when we got, we had something to work with, it was great 'cause it was fast, and, we gave a shit. We self-edited a lot. We didn't ever settle for less. It was always good. We had the same thing with Jimmy. We had, writing songs with that band, 'cause it was all process that we were all involved in. It was, Johnny was involved just as much as me and Stiv, and, so was Jeff on some stuff.
Fuck, I wish I'd be involved in the money end.
No. What
did you think of Stiv's band with the Sham 69 guys, the Wanderers? Did you ever hear that album?
Yeah, no. I actually helped them. I was like their roadie when they played the Palladium in New York when they came over with no road crew and no equipment. No, that was one of my favorite albums of all time. I love that record.
That was
I think
a great record, man.
that should have been way bigger than it was.
Yeah, for sure.
I was really glad to see him do that one.
What kind of conversations did you have with Stiv during the period that he was in the Lords of the New Church?
I met Kermit, Dave Chaguna in the Wanderers, and I knew Brian James from the Damned. So he's playing with people I really like anyway.
Yeah.
And
me and Brian were best friends, right?
Yeah.
So it was weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
He's playing with
family.
Bader now.
The guys in the Damned are like family. Me and Brian were born the same day. So we were those two guitar players were both born the same day. Oh, it was kind of weird, but there was never any hard feelings, and the only thing I had was that I always wanted to do him to get more political with the Dead Boys, and He didn't. Didn't have it. He wanted to go do power pop bullshit, and
He was all into that power pop
I know.
shit. Man,
I wanted to be the
MC.
MC5, you know.
Yeah, right.
And what do you call it? And as soon as he fucking band breaks up and he goes and gets with Brian James, he starts writing nothing but political shit.
What were the highlights and lowlights of the Dead Boys reunion?
Low lights were fighting off my morphine addiction, trying to fucking get myself through that. Highlights were playing with all my friends, man. It was just fucking great.
Did you feel vindicated during that period?
Oh, totally, man.
Yeah.
I was.
But I'm with Johnny. I mean, with me, with the Dead Boys, it's always been the shows. That's always been the highlight. The other 3 hours in the day can be a little trying. But especially like Johnny said with the morphine, and we were not, we were functioning, but we weren't at our best. We were always good to go on stage, but it was a fucking clown car, and the shows were always good. The highlights, the lowlights, there were so many lowlights. It all had to do with they were all self-inflicted.
You know what the thing is, though, is the musical standard always kept it
was
top
always
notch,
consistent,
top drawer, man. Eddie Munster, top drawer.
We never
always, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We never let it suck.
Super punk rock group, the Whores of Babylon, with Dee Dee Ramone, Johnny Thunders, and Jerry Nolan. Were you around that?
Well, I was supposed to be. As a matter of fact, I had gone out to Connecticut and had been practicing guitar and cleaned up my act, i.e., kick drugs yet again. And when I came back to New York, I was in really good shape and I was ready to go. And got a phone call, Stiv was dead. So that never, came to it. But yeah, I was supposed to be part of that.
As far as you know, was there ever any practices?
There was stuff that whatever Stiv did in Paris with, people. But I don't think it was ever like one where they said, okay, we're rehearsing for the, Whores of Babylon. I think it was more just whoever was in town jammed. Stiv did more of a PR campaign with that than there ever was a band.
Okay, I get it.
I mean, it was, the idea was there, the people were all in to do it, but no, nothing really happened. It was more of a PR thing.
So tell me about the Sylvain project, Batusi, and will there be another one?
Well, that came together just, my record label guy, was coming up. You ever play with Sylvain? I said, well, yeah, we used to jam all the time in New York. He goes, well, would you be interested in doing a project with him? Because I was just talking to his manager, and it's like, we kind of came up with a brainstorm. I was like, oh, fuck, I'll play with Sylvain anytime, anywhere, So we did that. I thought it was really good. It had a lot of momentum going. But unfortunately, at the time it was ready to come out, Smallville Records decided to go on hiatus for like a year. And so basically he let us free and clear out of the contract, all that. And it was totally hassle-free. It was great, but we had to go shopping around, and we weren't very good at that. We had nobody to do it for us. So it just kind of, time just went by to the point where, we just split it up and ended up using stuff for other projects. Like I used 3 of the songs on my solo album. And, me and Sylvain keep threatening to get together and write it, it would be different though. It would be more of a party album, It's a kind of serious thing. I mean, it was a really good record. It was more serious, I think, than Sylvain was looking for.
How did you guys get back together?
A phone call. That's all it took. One little phone call. It was all to do with Japan. She'd asked me would you want to go play Tokyo? Yeah. And I said, fuck, I'd be fucking thrilled to play Tokyo. And that's how it all started. I
became aware, it's the 40th anniversary of Young, Loud, and Snotty. And so I was going to kind of start doing that in my set, as a solo thing. And when we had these gigs in Japan, that I figured Blitz would be up for that. And that'll get his interest.
No,
You know?
certainly did.
And,
I mean, how often do you get to go there, right?
Yeah.
So when we went and did it, you know, me and him got
And
a
it
chance
worked
to
out
try.
really well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the band sounds great. So
Yeah.
it was like, well, maybe we're onto something here.
So, you know, it just felt, you know, it felt good playing with Blitz again, and it's all, you know, we really are a team, you know, and always have been. We haven't lost it, and so that's how it started, you know, and it just kind of turned into a Dead Boys project.
How is the hospitality in Japan?
Excellent, dude. Man, I'm telling you, those people know how to live.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. It was great. I would go back there in a minute.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that that's in a whole other story. I'm not going to get into that, but
To be honest, I wasn't all that crazy about the place, but I mean, they really were, you know, the hospitality was very great, and they were very polite, but, you know, I don't know, it was just kind of,
I don't get it.
I just didn't, no, it wasn't like I, you know,
we
fit
got,
in
we
or
got
had a
ripped
vibe
for.
there, yeah.
What happened was, okay, I'll be honest about this. We did a show in Tokyo, and one of the monitors got spewed on, right, by some beers from the audience or the band, who knows, and we got charged largey, big time. So it kind of messed up the whole situation.
Yeah, pretty much like ripped
But
us
you know,
off.
other than that,
Yeah.
it was a great time.
Yeah.
I loved it there. I'd go back in a minute.
Yeah.
Half full.
Well, I mean, the thing was,
That kind of thing,
my,
yeah.
you know, my thing was, it wasn't, to me, it wasn't anything to do with the riffing off of our money or anything. I just had no affinity for the place.
How did you find Jake?
Jake was in a band called the Undead Boys. They did Dead Boys covers and dressed like zombies. They were like a tribute band. My girlfriend had seen them on YouTube. She said, you check these guys out, they're actually really good. So I checked them out, and I thought, yeah, you know, Jake definitely, you know, they were definitely good. And when it became official, we were going to be doing like, you know, Young Lon Snotty, and we were going to bill it as that, or make that the selling point for the tour for the year. You know, we need a bass player and a singer, and I was like, well, why don't we get those two guys and just, you know, let them jam with us.
All these guys we're working
You know.
they're true pros,
Yeah,
all of them.
and when they fit in, it was just like immediately like that, you know, and like everybody.
Professionals, man.
Yeah, and everybody with Jake, I mean, you know, because I'm really avoiding getting anybody to replace Stiv, and he's not replaced, but to, you know, even be in a band with him, you know, after Stiv. And Jake, you know, does so respectfully, so well. Full of new Stiv that were friends of his, like old girlfriends and friends, like, keep this guy.
Yeah,
You know,
we were getting that
He's
everywhere.
awesome. And a lot of my journalist friends that have seen you guys are like, man, it is amazing.
No,
Yeah.
no, I agree, 100%.
I mean, he does it differently than Stiv.
And you know, and the other two are equally as
Yeah,
talented.
Yeah.
Jason and me have played
We
together.
just have good support, man.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
really do. We're very
Your
blessed.
time has finally come.
And
Yeah,
Jason's
let's
been
hope
with me
so.
in my solo band for like 4 years, you know, so that, you know, helped start it. And Ricky, I've known forever. He just kind of grew into the part too.
Describe the personalities of Iggy Pop.
Oh boy,
Nice guy, but crazy.
asshole. Sorry, you can delete it, but that's my feelings.
You know, I've got nothing against Iggy anymore, you know, and we've had our moments, but over the years it's mellowed out and forgotten about, so that's cool, you know. Johnny hasn't, you know, had the chance to, you know.
That's the way I feel. Asshole,
Johnny, did he cross you?
big time.
Yeah.
Okay, Sid Vicious.
Sad, pathetic, stupid.
Does he deserve the adulation that his persona still gets to this day?
Very sad, man. I feel so sad for him. I do, but I feel a lot sadder for his girlfriend. But what are you gonna do?
Nancy Spungen, I heard that you are allergic to her.
Oh, yeah, I was definitely allergic to Nancy. You know, you see like interviews with her and all that, and you kind of see what she was like. I mean, obviously everybody says what she was like, but when you actually experience it for any length of time, she was the most miserable human being I've ever met. You know, bar none. I mean, she's totally, you know, she set the bar really fucking high.
Wow.
And it was just, yeah, you know, I just developed a total, you know, disrespect for her. She was really a nasty piece of work.
Patti Smith.
Yeah, I like Nancy a little better.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's saying a lot.
No, no, Patty's just always, you know, just kind of pretentious and full of herself, and I don't buy into that shit. I do like her music, you know. Me and Lenny are good friends, but she's just always been, you know, kind of antagonistic to me when I've met her, and it's just not important enough to me to care.
Debbie Harry.
Total sweetheart. One of the nicest people you're ever going to meet.
Debbie, I love Debbie. Yeah, she's the best. She's the best. A long time friend.
Lou Reed.
Got to hang out with Lou a good bit. Funny, you know, funny guy, brilliant, you know, to talk to. I wish he would have, you know, been able to produce the second album like he wanted to. Way nicer than you expected, you know, because like everybody's terrified of him in New York, and I was like nervous at first, but I was at ease with like talking to him for like 2 minutes.
Johnny Rotten.
A really funny guy, and you know, really good shyster. I mean, he fucking fooled everybody, didn't he? You know.
Well, he learned from Malcolm McLaren.
Yeah, but I mean, he was the fucking spearhead, and he did a good job.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think he was one of the greatest singers in punk rock, actually. You know.
Yeah, no, and very charismatic, and you know, he had a great delivery, and very intelligent. You know, but Johnny, I mean, every encounter I ever had with him, you know, it was funny, you know. He's a good guy. No, and Joey just, I mean, he was like a brother man to us, you know. The Ramones were really good friends, and I was as comfortable with him as I am with any of, you know, my good friends, you know.
Tell me about Johnny Ramone. Tell me about Johnny, because he was just a monster as far as guitar playing goes.
Yeah, and he was the same thing, great guy, you know. Me and him used to double date with our girlfriends. So, you know, smoke joints and watch horror movies. You know, yeah, just great guy, one of the Ramones, you know.
Now, was that when you guys double dated? Was he with Linda, or was this pre-Linda?
This is pre-Linda when he was at Roxy, and Gita and Roxy were like best friends, you know. And so we would go over and hang out with them and have, you know, go out and have dinner and stuff, and then come back and watch horror movies.
Any encounters with Steve Jones?
No.
No, Steve Jones.
Never met Steve Jones in my life, and I have no intention of.
You know, he's all right, a bit of a lout, you know, but a bit more full of himself than he should have been. Given the fact that, you know, he was riding Johnny Rotten's coattails.
Did you guys like the CBGB's movie? And what was it like seeing your lives played out on screen?
The movie is definitely Hollywood, and it takes a lot of artistic license. I mean, a lot of the situations in there, you know, more, often please kill me or something. It wasn't everything that, you know, the shows in the movie didn't happen, not necessarily happen the way it looked like it happened. And I thought Rupert Grint did a great job.
Hollywood shit, though. I mean, it's never going to be the way it really happened. That whole stabbing scene was slander.
I thought Rupert's characteristic of me was great because, you know, me and my son was like, you know, 8 years old then.
Yeah.
And so we were big into the Harry Potter movies and all that. Like when he found out that, you know, Rupert was playing me, he just couldn't believe it, you know. And then when he got to meet him and hang out with him, and then Snape too, you know, Alan Rickman.
Yeah, double.
Yeah.
It's double awesome.
Yeah, they were both like just treated him like, you know, a little king, and, you know, he got to, you know, they was like, and also like friends. So he like left there feeling like, you know, him and the guys from Harry Potter were buddies, you know. Which they were, you know.
Your son is I must say this, your son is a mini-me.
Oh,
he looks like you, man.
Totally. No denying that one. And he spent a lot of time with his dad, and he's got a lot of his old dad's bad habits and stuff. But we get along, you know, really good, and, you know, I'm really proud of him now because he's like 12, and he's doing stuff like dyeing his hair blue, and turned into quite a little man, and he can handle himself good. And, you know, I'm proud of myself too, because I think I did a pretty good job as a father. Up till now, you know.
What's next for you guys?
We're just going to keep going, doing what we do, plugging away, playing one little club at a time, and maybe someday, who knows, we might be playing bigger clubs.
Well, I mean, you have like Keith Morris put together Off.
Jeez.
What kind of progress are you guys making to putting out a new Dead Boys record with the new singer?
Oh, we're making very good progress with it. It comes out September 1st.
Whoa.
So,
It's already been done.
you know, we got that going on. We got, you know, like I said, we got new publicists, new management, new booking agents.
Company.
Record company, we're on Plowboy Records, the label that I founded. So we're gonna have a, you know, there's gonna be a lot going on in the next 6 weeks leading up to the tour in September. And, you know, we're back. We're here to play, and it's where we feel the most at home, so why stop?
Thank you, Johnny Blitz.
Thank you, sir.
Cheetah Chrome. It's awesome to have you on the Blairing Out with Eric Blair show.
Right.
And you guys rock.
Well, thank you, sir.
This is the Blairing Out with Eric Blair show here at Fingerprint Records with Cheetah Chrome and Johnny Blitz of the Dead Boys. Signing off.
The Blairing Out Show.